Hello, darling. Open the door. Hello, darling. It's so nice to finally meet you. What's the issue, darling? You look like you've seen a ghost. Oh, who am I? Honestly, I feel a bit offended, darling. I'm your Yandere stalker, of course. I've been stalking you and following you for years now. Because I love you so much that I can't stand being far away from you. And don't pretend you don't know me. You've seen me lots of times before. You've seen me hiding among those bushes, or taking pictures of you through the window. You even smiled at me at the amusement park where I was watching you from behind those comically big cups. So don't pretend like you're oblivious to this. You knew that I was stalking you, and you liked it. I'm not real. Of course I am, darling. How could I have knocked on your door if I wasn't? No, you're not hallucinating. But if you still don't believe I'm real, you can come here and kiss me, just to see what happens. Okay, I'll explain myself. You're getting extremely pale and I'm starting to get concerned. I don't want you to die. Again. Well, we'll get to that. You and I need to have a long conversation. I have a lot of things to explain. Do you mind if we go to your living room and sit down? When I'm done explaining, your whole world will be different. And I think it would be better if you were sitting down. Okay. I know what you have been thinking since you opened the door. How can I be here? I'm not real. I'm just your imaginary stalker. You're so lonely that for the last couple of years you've been imagining that you have someone so completely, madly in love with you that they can't bear being far away from you, and that they constantly stalk you. For you, I'm not more than a product of your imagination. Kind of an imaginary friend, but for an adult. And arguably more messed up. I'm just something you came up with to make you feel less lonely. And I guess that finding the person you believe to just be a product of your imagination knocking on your door can be quite disconcerting, but I can assure you I'm as real as you are. Okay, bear with me, darling, because this is going to be a wild ride for you. Have you ever heard that the brain can't imagine new faces? Well, that's at the same time true and false. And here's when things start to get weird, so buckle up. You see, the human brain can generate faces that don't exist. That's true. But that doesn't mean that you can only imagine people with faces that you've seen before. Now, brains are an organ way more complex than you all imagine. Whenever you imagine someone, you're imagining someone that exists, even if you have never seen that person. I know, darling, that probably doesn't make sense to you, so I'll give you an example. All those characters you invented for your stories when you were younger, those knights, witches, princesses, and detectives, you didn't actually create them. You just unknowingly learned about them. They do actually exist, but in another universe. And their brains have the capacity to subconsciously perceive those universes. Yes, other universes. What we colloquially call imagination is just our brain connecting with one of the infinite universes that exist. Each and every person you've ever imagined exists in one or more universes, and that also applies to me. Exactly. I come from another universe. People in yours are still very far from proving the existence of parallel universes, but mine is more advanced, and that's how I managed to come here. My universe is quite similar to yours. Obviously, I'm a regular human, as you can see. We also have our own Earth, which artificially is the same as yours. And I'm speaking English, so it should be obvious that our languages are the same too. There are small variations, like, for example, in my universe, hedgehogs are one of the most popular pets, but they are pretty much the same. Why did I come here? Oh, to be with you, of course. You see, when you're here, quote unquote, imagining someone, you're not only perceiving their body, but also their personality. So I can assure you I'm as madly in love with you as I was in your fantasies. And now that I'm here with you, I can't wait to spend the rest of lives together. I know you love me too, darling. After all, your brain connected with me because you like both my body and my personality. Especially my obsession over you. And I can promise you'll never feel lonely again. How can I love you if I don't know you? Oh, but I do know you, darling. Well, or at least I know 99.998% of you. Are you ready for some more world-shaking information? Great. Well, you see, some people have versions of themselves in several different universes. I, for example, have slightly different me's in 37 universes, although I don't have a version on this universe. If I did, you would have met them before. You are in 124, which is an unusually high number, and one of your versions was in my universe. Them or you, because you two are all effects the same people, were the love of my life. I was completely and utterly in love with you. You were the most beautiful and kind and fascinating person I had ever met. I had never before felt something even close to what I felt for that version of you that lived in my universe. Yes, my darling. I said lived. Remember what I said about not wanting you to die again? You died, my love. You died a few months ago in my universe. Way sooner than you should have. You were the same age that you are in this universe. That was the worst day of my life. It was a late night, and I was stalking you as usual, but in the darkness I took a wrong turn and I lost you. As I tried to find you again, I heard noise, you and two men shouting at each other, and then you screaming. Guided by the sound voice, I ran to you. But it was already too late. I found you agonizing on the ground, bleeding from several different wounds as men ran away with your wallets. You took your last breath in my arms. A trickle of blood was running through your forehead as I held you, crying as we both knew what was going to happen. At my thumb, I wiped the blood from your forehead, and you smiled at me. The first time that you saw me, you didn't even know my name, and you knew that you were dying. You still smiled at me. And less than a minute later, you were gone. Yes, I'm okay. Don't worry, but I definitely wasn't then. I just witnessed the love of my life gone. I became mad from grief, a grief that no one understood, because we hadn't even talked before. But that didn't change the fact that you were the love of my life, and you were gone. I locked myself in my home and spent the days crying, constantly living at that time, and desperate, I thought about finding you in whichever universe you might exist. You see, darling, in my universe, even though we have discovered how to travel to other universes, that knowledge is not public. Only some government and researchers know about it. I don't want to brag, but in my world, I'm one of the brightest scientists to ever exist. You see, darling, your partner, because, well, you're obviously dating now, is not only incredibly hot, but also stupidly smart. I'm kidding, except for the dating part, of course. Yeah, I'm getting to it, sorry. It's just so hard not to get distracted having you here with me. Well, I'm not just a world-class scientist, but travel sometimes in universes, my area of expertise. So I made a plan and spent months secretly using our supercomputer to analyze trillions of data, finding each versions of you to locate the one who was the most similar to the person who died in my arms. And that is you. You two identical in almost all aspects. Not only physically, but personality and your hobbies, your friends, the books you read as a child. The only difference I managed to find was the name of your grandmother and the color of your phone case. No, darling, of course this doesn't let me do this. Interaction with other universes is strictly regulated. But I didn't care. I had to be with you again. Then I discovered that you had been fantasizing about me for years. That was the sign I was looking for. Thanks to my knowledge and some materials I stole, I opened a way to a universe and equipped it with the self-destruction mechanism so no one could come after me and take me away from you. To be even more sure that no one would come looking for me, I also faked my own death. It's not like a lot of people cared about me back home. Either way, that's how I ended up here. I know, it's a whole lot to process. I don't blame you, but now we're together, my love. You don't have to fantasize about me stalking you anymore. I'll always be right by your side. We're made for each other, darling. You won't be lonely anymore. Now, why don't you show me around, my love? Your home is exactly like it was in my universe, but I never went inside. I've been trying extremely hard to stay calm because I had to explain this whole mess to you. But on the inside, I'm jumping from excitement. Being finally able to call you my partner. Oh my darling. Sometime I thought it wouldn't be possible. I thought that I had lost you forever. Now you're finally together. Oh, I'll be living with you, of course. I don't have a home in the universe, my darling. Besides, I know that we're perfect for each other, so why waste time? I love you and you love me. So there's no point in waiting before we start living together. Well, I'm glad that you agree. Of course, we still will go on a lot of dates. Lately, I have been having trouble sleeping because of how excited I would get imagining you and I on a date, strolling in the park, holding hands while eating. What's that thing that you all love to do so much here? Ice cream? I don't exactly understand how you can turn into cream, but I'm eager to understand. Money? Oh, don't worry, darling. Once I manage to forge a birth certificate and my qualifications, I'm pretty sure I'll manage to win lots of that. I mean, I'm one of the best scientists from a universe which is more technologically advanced than yours. For me, quantum mechanics is just high school math. Every university and company in the world would kill to have me. I'll win the, what you call it, Nobel Prize in less than 10 years from now. And I plan on using every cent to spoil my beloved. Of course, I mean it. I literally traveled between universes for you. Do you think I'm not willing to indulge and spoil the love of my life? How I would even end somebody if you asked me to. There isn't a soul thing I wouldn't do for you, my love. But enough of the yapping. As you say, I'm dying to see your whole house from the inside. And, well, especially your bedroom.